telling scores is like the equivalent of caster math. It's pretty rough. So who is Mosak? Can anyone make a guess? Who is Sak? It's sSak. I don't know which player that is. I'm just kidding. That's Sak. So it's gonna be Sak versus effOrt. We're gonna have a TVZ on our hands. So cool stuff right there. Oh, let me put my face up here. Ta-da! So in the right hand corner in the red trunks, that is going to be Mr. Sak, not Shine. I know it looks like Shine over there, but it's actually Sak. And up in the top left in the yellow, up after a pretty decisive ZVZ, that is going to be effOrt. So Sak, if we talk about his TVZ, so I think Sak's TVZ is actually pretty decent. From what I remember, his TVT was definitely his strongest matchup, while his TVZ was pretty decent. I'll have to check the stats. I definitely, off the top of my head, I don't really remember exactly where he's strong and where he isn't. I haven't been watching his stream as much as of recent. Mostly I watch Zerg streams, so I know the Zerg players a lot better. But are we going to see something crazy? Are we going to see an early pool coming out from effOrt? Really nice to see this early drone scout coming out. This is kind of cool to see this sort of play. It's going to delay... I think in some ways it hard counters a CC first play, and it definitely delays this this barracks if you do it perfectly right. But it looks like it is going to be a 12 hatchback at home. To some degree, this does lose you minerals against a normal build. A little bit surprising to see that early gas go down instead of the gasless fast expand that you usually expect in TVZ. So we may see something tricky coming out of Sak. He may go for something more standard, more or less standard. Maybe he'll go for just a couple of early vultures. We don't really know. It's going to be interesting to see how he plays this out. Looking forward to it. You guys did not see me just miss my mouth with my coffee. Oh god, I obviously need more coffee. Oh, god. Oh gosh, I'm a mess. Alright, so the factory is coming out, and it's not in a position where he can set up a machine shop. Maybe it's just to be hidden for now, and he'll lift up when he makes the machine shop. But if I had to guess, it looks more... Well, he's still mining gas, so I think we're definitely going to see a vulture drop. That's definitely what it's looking like at this point in time. You go for the vulture drop. That's actually a pretty smart play because the natural and the main are a little bit separated by these small ramps. So you can kind of drop on one side and then run them to the other side, pick them up, and then drop them in the natural, etc., etc. And it's a bit of a pain in the ass to actually deal with, so I think that's a smart play coming out from him. And this is one of those weird positionings. I've noticed this happened last time as well, but when you have the Overlord here, it's one of those weird positions where it's not actually safe for Marines, but it's also not really, it's like fairly safe. But it's, I don't know, it's really weird to explain, but it should be one of those safe places, and that's where everyone sends their Overlord, but it can definitely be sniped by Marines if you're not paying attention, so a little bit of interestingness. And meanwhile, just seeing pretty standard stuff coming out from effOrt so far. He did put a creep colony down at the low ground area for an earlier sunken colony. That's going to help him defend against any sort of frontal pushes, and it is going to be 2-port Wraith coming out. Very cool to see. 2-port Wraith is one of those really obnoxious builds to deal with if you're not prepared for it. At this point, he does need the Hydralist in. He's already got it. Very smart, getting the Hydralist speed as well, so effOrt is going to be well prepared for these Wraiths when they first come in. It's going to be a little bit obnoxious to deal with them because, as I said, the architecture of this base makes it really easy to wander in between the mineral lines in the main and the natural, but once you have some well-placed Hydras in the way, it's not too much of a problem.
선수의 판단이 보이는 것 같고요.
가스를 안 깼다는 건 미네랄 위주로 플레이를 하겠다는 거죠.
이 드론이 나와 있는 건 뭐냐? 이
So it looks like maybe another sunken going down there just to be extra safe. Oh, maybe he's actually gonna take a third base early. Here comes the first Wraith. Let's see if it gets any kills. Does not get a kill on that first drone. He is going to be able to get a kill on the second drone, but a lot of damage going down on that Wraith. It's already half health, and you have to be really careful with Wraiths because they have almost zero damage. Almost actually zero damage. And he's got to be careful just to make sure he's not taking too much damage on these early on. Managed to kill off that drone, so pretty nice damage overall so far. And this is really just a point where Zerk has to play ultra safe and just turtle really hard on a couple of Hydras. I definitely would like to see a tech up into Lurkers. It's really cool what you can do with Lurkers when you know your opponent's going for something like this. You can definitely delay a lot by having a Lurker Hydra comp. And with some static defense back at home, you're 100% safe against this. And then you just Hydra Lurker at your opponent's natural. There's not really much they can do about it. Very nice snipe on that drone, abusing the mineral lines and the ability for the Hydras to get behind that. It's a little bit interesting to do this on Uzi Sara. Uzi Sara is one of those maps that has a lot of weird grounders. Oh, and he is going to be going for an offensive sunken to contain his opponent. So pretty cool to see this. That is actually neat. I think the chat was saying this earlier, but they all kind of look the same. So sometimes I'm confused about what's the neutral one and what's the actual one. Ray's coming in here, but they're gonna get pushed back by a couple Hydras and an Overlord. effOrt being really smart with his positioning. He's actually gonna move across the map right now and go for an attack, or at least push these Wraiths off the sunken. More smart play coming out from sSak, but when you go for a 2-port Wraith, it really has to pay off, and you have to get complete map control while you make the switch into either mech or bio. And so far, we haven't really seen either of those things. And the front is actually going to get broken, and I don't think he's going to be able to kill this bunker, but definitely a lot of damage done there to slow his opponent down. The Wraiths are going to be able to clean this up, and I don't know, maybe that was actually pretty good for sSak. Only losing a supply depot for all of those Hydralists is a pretty good trade, honestly, and there's not a lot of drones back at home for effOrt, so effOrt is going to have to catch up in the worker count, but at the same time, there's still no natural for sSak, so it's not like the economic position is especially dire for Zerg. So it looks like we're going to be switching back into bio for sSak. So a little bit interesting. Whenever you have a 2-port Wraith, you really have the decision. You can either go into mech or bio. Both of them honestly work. I honestly think the switch into mech is better, but most of the games that I've seen go into bio. So they're going to go into bio, and I guess in some ways it counters the follow-up Mutalists, maybe. I don't know. It's super interesting, but the Mutalists are going to be coming out right now. I'd like to see a couple of, just at least 2 Scourge to go in that army just to automatically kill off 1 to 2 Wraiths when they come in. And then you can whittle that away a lot easier. And third base going down for effOrt. He's pretty confident about this, and he's going to be pushing in right now. Not very good micro from sSak. He's actually just going to lose a couple of these for free, but effOrt moving a little bit too far away from his Overlords. He really needs to stay close to those Overlords so he's not making the mistake of getting Mutalists picked off for free without doing any return damage. But I think it was that was pretty well played by effOrt. He's got the air advantage now. He's got the map control, and a couple of units being pumped out right now. While effOrt is trying to hunt down these Wraiths, and I think he's found them. He might actually be able to kill off all of them if he plays this correctly. There's the immediate cloak. They're going to try to get away, but tons of damage going down on that. At least one of them going down. The rest of them very, very, very low. So
있거든요.
This is very smart by effort to just hunt this down because he knows this is all the map control the turn has. So if you just continually patrol down here with all of your units, you're going to be in pretty good shape. Oh, is he going to get the hit? Oh, there's like 2 one-hit wraiths in there. A little bit questionable micro. He had all of his wraiths and was not able to kill that one Mutalisk, so a little bit weird from sSak. And I think at this point, effort's taken a pretty good control of this game. There's only one base for sSak. Meanwhile, effort's got up all 3 of his bases. He's got the Mutalisk. The only thing that could really kill him right now is a surprise attack with the Bio Ball, but I honestly don't think that's going to be too much of a big deal. sSak turning around the race, he's really trying to buy as much time as possible for this big Bio attack, but it's going to be difficult because even if he does buy enough time with these to come out, it's still a pretty small army. When you're only building stuff off of one base, you just can't get enough army. So here go more of the wraiths going down. And that's going to be pretty much all of them except for one. And there are Marines moving out across the map right now. This is a pretty big attack coming into the natural right now. Only one stuck in here to defend it for right now. A couple of Hydros on the high ground, and good Muta Micro can definitely pick this off and destroy it, but you really do need the speedlings coming in pretty soon. If you're just defending on pure Mutal Hydra, it's a little bit of an awkward composition to deal with Bio, and it melts up pretty quickly. And effOrt not really even microing at all. He's so confident that he's actually just going to A move on this. Wow, okay. Yeah, Mutalisk good units, yo. That should be the GG coming out pretty soon. I'd be really surprised if sSak stays in this game for much longer. You know when you have Mutalisk just A moving into Bio that you've pretty much lost. That's pretty brutal. And that was basically an all-in attack. There's no expansion coming up for the Terran player. I think he may stay in for a little bit longer until effOrt busts the front, but effOrt just taking his time. Looks like he's sending back a couple units right now just to clean up this one Wraith so he doesn't have to deal with it. And that's so annoying, the Wraith cloaks. This is smart, but there goes the bunker at the front. There's basically nothing left except for these few Wraiths, but they're going to be pushed back for now. Looks like effOrt actually isn't able to quite break it yet just because of the high DPS of those Wraiths, but it's looking pretty bleak. I keep saying that, and I'm sorry, man. I want to build the hype guys like, you know what, sSak can still come back into it. There's still a way he can do it. If he just kills all the Mutalisks with all of his Wraiths with God tier micro, then he'll be in good shape. Like, it'll be fine. Then he'll just win the game and expand 4 times. Like, it'll be fine. But just more and more Bio just being cleaned up by all these units. And yeah, I am. You know what? That is actually a very good point that was just made in chat. Like sSak could have just made like a Valkyrie earlier, and he'd probably be in really good shape if he just switched from Wraiths and built like 3 Valkyries with this Bio army earlier. He probably could have just outright won the game. So it's a bit surprising that he's stuck on this Wraiths for so long, but it seems like he's dedicated to this. Wraiths are the name of the game. And more micro wars going on. This is a bit of a silly game at this point. And effOrt doesn't even care about the Wraiths over there. He's just going to trade out Mutalisk for Bio. And this is still a good trade for effOrt because he has 3 base economy plus a 4th base going up right now. He can continue to trade Mutas even cost inefficiently versus this, and eventually sSak will run out of economy. Right now I think sSak is really, really low in his main, so those minerals should mine out soon, and there's going to be nothing left. More shenaniganry going on with these Wraiths, and they're not paying attention. There's the GG, sSak finally giving up, and effOrt just playing really smart.